for some of you guys to come on. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are all well. Do a quick message for you guys. Wait for some of you guys to come on. The risk taker. Only have like 10 minutes, so the risk taker. How important it is to take risk. So I'll wait for some of you guys to come on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you guys are all well. Good morning. I have a class to teach at like 12, so I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to come on and do this message really, really quick. Good morning. I'm going to get started because, here we go. I'm going to get started. All right, so this week is going to be a pretty interesting week. This is a manifestation week. You guys know we're going into the new moon energy. So we're in a new moon energy. This is going to be a very important week for a lot of people, especially with this new moon. This new moon is a wishing moon. So it's a new moon where if you're a person that has a higher purpose to start a business within that purpose, this moon is very favorable for you. However, here's the thing. A lot of people, what I've noticed, people always want to, I've noticed like a lot of people come at me and they're always like, I don't, 60% of my clients are clients who are unhappy due to the fact that they're just unfulfilled life. They're unfulfilled like with their purpose, like where they belong. Am I like doing the things I'm supposed to be doing? Am I in the right direction? Am I going on the right path? Am I where I need to be? That's the biggest corporate that I have with the majority of my clients that I acquire. And everybody wants to know what the purpose is. Everybody wants to know what they're supposed to be doing in life. Everybody wants to know that type of thing. And at times when I do my energy readings, I'm able to tell you what you're supposed to be doing in life. I'm able to actually show you your path. However, it can be scary, meaning that means you have to step outside of your comfort zone and take a risk. And a lot of people are not willing to do that. Why? Because they're afraid of what people are going to think. They're afraid of like losing something. They say they believe in God and Jesus, but yet have no faith. If you know God, you have faith. Like if you know God, if you truly know God and have a relationship with God, you carry no fear. If you're a fearful person and you have all this anxiety and you're afraid of taking risks and afraid of going in certain directions because you're afraid of the outcome, you don't have a connection with source like you think you do. Because when you know God, when you know the power of God, and when you are connected with God and become one with God, you are connected with that source, that power, and that energy. And so that's the major difference between someone that knows of God and a person that has a relationship with God. When you have a relationship with God, you know no fear. You know no boundaries. You know no limitation. That doesn't recognize, it doesn't resonate with you because you're a part of that source. You're a part of that divine source of creation, of power. When you know of God, you kind of know, it's almost like if you know of a person, like it's like Facebook. When you have 1 million Facebook friends, you don't know anybody. You know of them, but you don't know them. It's versus people that you actually know. Okay, so people, if you look back at some of the most successful people that we have on this planet, the common denominator is that they took a risk. They did something that did not make sense. And I'm always talking about this. They did something that did not make sense. They did something that everybody maybe thought was crazy and nobody's ever done before. They did things that they thought of that initially began as a thought, but yet they acted on it. So with most really successful people, when you think about the actors, the actresses, the singers, all the inventors, all those people, they did the things that people thought were crazy. They took the risk and they did things that did not make sense, and they became very successful. So one of the things is, a lot of people are afraid to step out of their comfort zone. They're afraid, again, what everybody's going to think. Is everybody going to think I'm crazy? Or even like in some cases, and I get this, but in some cases, people are afraid of, you hear stories all the time where people are like, I quit my job and I focus solely on my business. I sold my CDs out the trunk of my car. I sold my products out the trunk of my car. I went on a corner and I sold my products, and now I'm a multimillionaire. You hear stories like that all the time because they took a risk to get them to where they are now. God favors those that do the things that don't make sense. Not everybody's favored. You are favored when you do the things that don't make sense and you literally rock off of faith. When you do the things that man said may not be so normal and you rock with it, having faith in your higher power, that's when you are granted favor. Just because you're a good person, you may give to the poor, you may do charity events, you may be a nice person and all this other stuff. That does not grant you favor, because you can still be safe while doing that. You do the things where when God shows you who you are and you learn what your gifts are, you learn what your talents are, you learn what you're supposed to be doing, who you are as a being, what your purpose is here, and you actually act on it, whether it makes sense or not. When you go in that direction and you do it, not caring, it's like you jumping off of a cliff and not knowing what the outcome is. Sometimes you have to do that, but then I swear to God, you will survive and you will make it to the top. You will fly past all those people that you're afraid of, with their judgment. You'll fly past them and you'll do the things and experience the things and gain the things that nobody else will, who is staying in that safety, that safe, tiny, small little box. You have to sometimes do the things that don't make sense. So I get like a lot of people who have gone to college, obtained highest degrees of education, not for themselves, but for like their family members or for outside people, just to show they can do it, or just to impress, or just to like to satisfy someone else's dream or their desire or their path or their vision for that person, and live a miserable life, live a life of like poverty. Like I know people who have like master's degrees and doctorates that literally like they're like managers at retail stores, and it's not that it's nothing wrong with education, but at the same time, you have to understand what your personal power is. Like, so what is your personal power? What is your personal gift? What is it that you do best? Is it, again, I feel like I'm being repetitive, but is it, helping people? Is it art? Is it singing? Is it dancing? Is it teaching? Is it traveling? What is it? What is it that you love to do? What's your natural talent and what's your natural gift? You have to sometimes take that and do what doesn't make sense with it. You may have to take the risk, but when you take the risk, you will float, you will fly, you will succeed. And again, it's not even about what I'm saying. Just look at all these successful people. Read their stories. If you actually go back and if you do research about their stories and where they came from, what they did. You talk about Taraji. Taraji moved to LA as a single mom. Like she had like $100 to her name or something like that. And now she's like this multi-millionaire, actress. There's so many different stories like that where people have taken risks, the things that don't make sense, but they followed their passion, they followed their dreams. It did not make sense, but they took the risk to do that. And they floated, they won. You can't worry about what people think about you. You can't worry about who's going to say what is everybody going to think about me. You can't worry about that type of thing. That held me back for so long. And I always talk about that too. Like that held me back for so long. Me worrying about what everybody's going to think because of my gift. Like that held me back for so long. And I did not prosper the way I'm prospering now because I was so afraid of what everybody was going to think. But this is my gift. You prosper being in your gift and your purpose. No matter what that is, you prosper being in your gift and your purpose. And it's not always about money. It's more about having fulfillment and happiness too as well. You're happy as hell when you're doing something that you would do for free. You're happy as hell in that state. If you're, think about your parents or your grandparents. Some of you guys have been raised when you have somebody who's working 2, 3, 4, 12 jobs a week. And every day they were tired. They were miserable. They just lived to die. That's not what we're meant to do. We're not here to live to die. We're not here to go to work every single day and we're fucking miserable. We're like, oh my God, I don't want to go to work. I'm tired. You're trying to think of like some type of excuse to call off. You're not meant to work multiple jobs. Nobody's meant to work multiple jobs. Nobody's meant to do that. There's so much prosperity on this planet where if you just follow what God gave you, have confidence in it, have faith, have courage to do things that sometimes may not make sense, take the risk, you will succeed. I swear to God, I am a walking testimony. There's so many walking testimonies. There's a lot of, I'm not even famous yet. I will be, but I'm not even famous yet. But let me tell you, like, there's so many different stories from people like that literally have that rags to riches type of story where they were homeless and they took a risk. They left everything behind and took a risk. Even in relationships. So let's just say that your life is together and you're in your purpose. Let's just say that. But you're in, like you're lonely, but you're dealing with somebody that is not worth your time. That's a part that's holding on to all your energy. Your risk may be being brave enough and courageous enough to cut off ties from people, and it may not even be romantic, but ties from people and situations and circumstances that no longer serve you, to go into a brighter situation. Your only setback may be the fact that you're not taking the risk to cut off and remove the things that no longer serve you, that don't belong in your life. Like, I guess I didn't even know about this stuff until I started working within this field. So when you're reading a person's energy, I mean, you find out so much stuff and you get a chance like to see the setbacks. You get a chance to see what's holding a person back. And the number one thing that holds back human beings, the human race, is fear. Fear. Fear to me is the devil. That's the devil, because fear is up here. It's not the red man with the pitchfork with the pointy tail. That's not what the devil is. The devil is fear. Fear of, it's just plain fear. And that lives up here. It's not in a pit of fire. That does not exist. It's not in a pit of fire. Fear, the devil, is up here. And we are our own devil. Some people are like, well, I blame the devil. The devil is a liar. Yeah, you're right. And it's the mind. This is the mind, the fear, the devil. And once you get past this and you let go of the restrictions of fear and do the things that don't make sense and live off of faith. God is faith. God is love. God is unconditional love. When you know love, when you know faith, you can conquer everything. That's God. That's power. That's power. So when you know God, our universe, however you resonate, that's faith and that's love. That's you knowing your capabilities. That's you knowing who you are, you knowing your power. But when you live in fear, I'm afraid, I don't know, well, so what if I don't make it and all this other stuff. When you live in fear, literally, you remain, the devil always does it. It's always the devil, right? That's how it goes. So I want to do this quick video for whoever needs to hear it, because, I mean, we're going into this new moon. And this new moon is all about trying to get you to go into winning. It's trying to get you, for all you guys who literally are like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do a nonprofit. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be a writer. I want to be an author. I want to help people. I want to do something to add. That's a part of my gift. I want to do something. This new moon is supporting that. However, you have to let go of the fear of the what ifs. That's all up in here. That's the what ifs are all up in here. That's fear. That's the devil. The devil. That's the red man with the pointy tail. That's in the Bible. That's the devil. So, and not trying to knock anybody's religion or anything like that. I'm not, because, you know, I grew up as a Christian too as well. I just don't believe in the devil like the Bible describes it. I believe the devil is all in the mind. And we create things based off of our own insecurities and fears, because we're all manifestors. We're all magical. We all manifest based off of our thoughts, our words, our feelings, and our whole beings and emotions. So whatever happens around you is what we manifest based off of what we are projecting into the universe. And so that's why I say the devil's up here, because it's in the mind, it's in the head. Fear. Fear is the number one thing that makes you sick. Fear makes you sick because when you're stressed out, you're getting sick. When something happens and you have all this fear and you feel like you can't come out of it and you just become a victim, that's all fear. It keeps you down. Fear makes you lose. Fear keeps you handicapped. Fear is everything that's described in the Bible as what? The devil. And that's what fear does. And that's all up here. It's all in here. So once you conquer that and you really learn to, the thing is, I meditate daily. Every single morning before I do anything, I meditate for 10 minutes before I even get out of bed. I meditate. I become one with source, God, or higher self, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I become one. That's the true that's intimacy, when you become one. When you become one, you have a sense of courage. You know what you're doing. When you learn to shut up and listen, that's when you become one with source. And that's when you can get your direction and you just have faith in it and you go with it. What feels good to you? What feels right to you? What makes you happy? The universe, that's all it's about. God does not want anybody to be all miserable and messed up. Our universe, however you want to resonate. But God does not want anybody to be messed up. It's all about this whole diaphragm around us, our life path purpose is to do what's designed to keep us, to make us, to be in this journey to find pure happiness. Be happy. Be content with your life. It has nothing to do with, well, what if it's messed up, life is miserable, life is just jacked up. That's not life. That's just living to die. And if you're in that state right now where you're living to die, that's unfortunate. That's not your purpose. You're not in your purpose if you're miserable right now. If you're bored, if you're miserable, you're not in your purpose. If you're sad, if you're stressed out, if you just are just all over the place, if you feel anything but contentment and peace and gratitude right now, you're not in your purpose. You're just not. You probably need a reset. So anyways, I wanted to share this message. Only had a few minutes. So you guys be blessed. Take care. If you need me, you know how to reach me. www.CandiceGSmith.net. Have a blessed Sunday. Take advantage of this new moon energy. Very important energy, okay? You guys be blessed. Bye.